This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Mom and Pop Eaters of Grey Bruce. I'm Rob Leonard, and I'll tell you, we've been doing this for about a year now, and there's been one spot that it's just been bugging me that we haven't been able to talk to this one restaurant. I'll tell you, it's one of my favorite spots. Located in Springtown, everyone knows Elsies Diner, and the owner, Kris Heathers, is with us today. Kris, thanks so much for doing this.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, and as I said, I've been following all your posts on social media and everything, and we got a lot to talk about today. So first, let's talk about Elsie's Diner. How long have you been there? Where did the idea start?
Okay, so we opened in June of 2013. So we are just starting our 9th summer. Hard to believe, time has gone that quickly. Elsie's Diner was named after my grandmother. So my grandparents, Elsie and Gordon Graham, had a restaurant in Meaford in the 50s called Bayview Motors. My grandpa was a mechanic and my grandma was a cook. So it was a traditional 50s diner, bring your car in to get fixed, and grandma's going to make you a sandwich while you're waiting for your car to get fixed. So in memory of my grandma, she was my favorite person. She was well known in town. They had the restaurant, and then years later, she worked at the cafeteria in high school, so she knew all the kids in town. Everybody loved her because she was the French fry cook at the high school. So in memory of her and my grandpa, the diner was named for her, Elsie's Diner. And I really just wanted to create a typical 50s diner in today's world. And really what that means is old-fashioned food cooked the way my grandma made, from scratch, using local fresh ingredients. And of course, bringing in the whole great 50s flair of burgers and malt shakes and, all that great cool 50s food. So I was excited to, decorate the restaurant in a 50s theme. Of course, we have all the great 50s music playing. And we certainly love to see people pull up in their hot rods and, come on in for a great old-fashioned meal.
Absolutely. What a great story. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't owned my own restaurant, but I was just thinking about it. I was going to ask you where the Elsies name came from, but I always said that if I opened a restaurant, I would name it after my grandmother. So, it's such a great story, really, with the grandparents and what they for, and obviously rubbed off on you. But Kris, I know for a fact that Elsie's Diner isn't where you started in the hospitality industry. You've done a lot over the years.
I have. I've been around. I've been around a long time. I started in the hotel business, and I worked in Collingwood. I managed Georgian Manor Resort and Timeshare for a number of years, which was a great, fun place to work. And then I eventually made my way to Owen Sound. I'm a Meaford girl originally, so I started, working in Collingwood, and then was offered the job as the general manager of the Days Inn here in Owen Sound, and I was there for a number of years. And another, job that I absolutely loved. Had a great team working there, and worked with some great culinary teams over the years. Doing banquets and weddings, and of course, all the hotels I managed did have in-house dining. So, it's funny. A lot of people say to me, "Oh, you run a restaurant. You must be a great cook." Yeah, I'm not. Cooking's not really my thing. I'm very fortunate to have some amazing talent in my kitchen. I love food, so I'm really good at the taste testing part of it, making sure it tastes good. But cooking's not actually my profession. I have always been a hospitality manager. And after the Days Inn, I was at the Days Inn for quite a number of years. And then I moved over to Chartwell, which became Seasons Retirement Community. And I worked there for a number of years. And the retirement community is also, run more like a hotel. It's a high-end retirement home, beautiful meals prepared for them. So again, a wonderful culinary team there. And then at some point in your life, you decide, I'm kind of tired of working for the man. I'm going to do my own thing. So that's when I decided to, you work for years managing other people's businesses, and at some point you decide I need to take the leap and go out on my own and, know for myself that I can do it for my own. And so that's when I decided to open a restaurant. Many people told me I was crazy. But I just combined my love of, the hospitality business, working with culinary teams. I knew what it took for customer service, and putting the theme together was just so much fun. Shopping for memorabilia and, getting all things set up. And it's been a long haul. We're just starting our 9th summer here at Elsie's. Hard to believe we've been around that long, but it's exciting to, put your own touch on a business and take a leap and decide this is what I'm going to do. And, you work your heart out. And it's been really, really rewarding. I've met some amazing people, amazing customers. And certainly when you're a little small town restaurant, you do meet so many people who come on a regular basis. You get to know them, you get to know their family. It's a really, really wonderful atmosphere. So it's been a long career. I'm still a few years to go. The pandemic, maybe set me back a few years, as it did most restaurants, I would imagine, if they've managed to make it through. But a few more years of exciting, fun things at the diner.
And that's so true, everything you said. And, it's amazing the number of owners that I've interviewed, 30 plus restaurant owners since I started the show. And they have no problem admitting that the kitchen is not their thing. So then you bring the business end of it, which is super important. I mean, and it's quite obvious with what you've done with that spot. And if people aren't familiar with where Elsie's is, it's west of Owen Sound, Springmount on Highway 6. And if you knew where the old drive-in theater was, it's just before that. You can't miss it because honestly, Kris, as I said to you this morning when we were talking, I said, when you're outside of a city, you're outside of a town, you have to try to make it a destination to a certain degree, right? So, of course, your food is very important. People will come for your food. But you also need to do exactly, in my estimation, what you've done with the outside of Elsies Diner, making it so colorful and everything. Your patio is just incredible with all the colors and everything. You can't miss it. It's just boom, it hit. You may not be looking there, but it's going to bring your eye. You painted all the picnic tables that are outside. You put the colored ribbons around the outside of the patio itself. Then let's talk about some of the other things that you've added to Elsies Diner. Now, you talked about your menu and talking about how it's fresh, it's homemade, but you rely a lot on buying local and using local suppliers for your meat, for your vegetables, etc.
That's right. And, that's one of the great things about being a mom and pop eatery, is that we can choose who our suppliers are. When you deal with a franchise, they have no choice. Their head office tells them, where they buy their products from and, who they get their food from. But when we're a small independent restaurant, I can decide where I shop. And we're a rural area. Why wouldn't we support our own farmers? So all of our beef is Grey Bruce beef. We pay a little bit more for it because it's worth it. And we do try as much as possible to use as much local produce. We cook everything here from scratch. I think that's another difference when people are looking at options of going to a franchise restaurant or going to a mom and pop restaurant. We're cooking here in our restaurant. We buy, we cook our own turkeys. We make our own roast beef. We make a lot of our own salads. A lot of what we do is fresh home style food, the way our grandmas cooked it back in the 50s. And you can taste the difference in, good, fresh, local food. And who doesn't want to help out the other people in our community? And especially, I think, during the pandemic, people have realized that you need to help out the people in your community. So, that's kind of what we're all about.
And Graham Bruce Counties has done such a fantastic job at doing that from yourself, the restaurant owners, making sure that you can't do everything local, but you do your best to make sure that you do put the lion's share of your order per week, let's say, staying in the community, in the local community. And, but then the customers appreciating that as well. They know what the mom and pops give back to the community as far as what you just mentioned, but supporting the local sports programs for kids, for example. That was a lead-in to the first time that you and I met. And
that's correct.
You and I met many years ago, under 14 boys soccer, I think it was that year. And I walked in and you very graciously sponsored my boys soccer team for that summer. We had a great summer. You even put on a big party at the end for us. Your chef was Karen at the time, and she made this incredible soccer cake for the kids. And and that was so much appreciated, helping out with the community. So again, another, all of those things come together to create the community, right? And people.
Correct.
The nice thing is throughout this pandemic is that your customers realize that and they're doing everything they can to support you.
That's correct. Yeah, very important. And, more and more people are recognizing that. And I think even, the younger generation certainly understands the importance of shopping local. So.
Yeah, which is fantastic for the future. Okay. As I said, you've created a destination in Springmount now. We've talked about the patio. Now let's talk about Licky Lou's. Let you tell the people Lou's.
All right. So we decided that, what goes better with a 50s diner but a great old-fashioned ice cream shop. So while we were, closed with just takeout, we decided it was time to, first of all, we did renovate the restaurant, made some changes, added some great new memorabilia into the restaurant, and we also decided it was time to bring in an ice cream shop. So it's called Licky Lou's Ice Cream Shop. We have a creamery in Eastern Ontario that's making ice cream specifically for us. So it's our own ice cream. It's Licky Lou ice cream. We have 20 flavors. They are fantastic. I have tried them all, just sampling them a couple times to make sure. We also have and we also have over 20 toppings for Sundays. So you can come in and get, any kind of ice cream, and we have amazing toppings to go on them. We also, with our 20 flavors, can make any kind of milkshake, any kind of malt shake. And if you haven't tried a malt shake, it's worth it to come in and try that. Malt obviously is an old-fashioned ingredient used way back in the 50s for shakes. So, you remember hearing the old days, people going out for a malt. And malt is actually a wheat barley mixture that's its natural sweetener. So you add it to your shake, gives it just a little bit more kick. It's delicious. So Licky Lou's, it's wonderful. It's doing great so far. We're excited for it to be here. It's another thing that we can do to help us, get through the pandemic when we can't have indoor dining. So we're excited to, have people come in and see the shop. It looks great. It looks old fashioned. It looks like you're walking into a 50s shop. So we hope you come in and give it a try.
And again, Kris, it just shows your attention to the detail as far as creating that authentic 50s style diner. And as you said, with the malted, right, with all of those things, it makes me smile because I was probably I was born. I don't mind. I was born in 1961, but thinking back to the when I could remember 5, 6, 7, 5 to 10 years old, that kind of thing. Still remembering some of those things that, remind me of my childhood. And as you said, food tasted a little different back then. So, but
That's
you're doing
sure.
everything you can to keep that authentic 50s flavor to it. So, now another thing that drew my attention was your menu, and again, keeping with the theme of the restaurant, it's just amazing. I look at some of your items like the Big Bopper breakfast. Okay, so maybe people younger than me would not remember who the Big Bopper was, but it brings a smile to my face. The Tutti Frutti waffle. Everybody knows the song Tutti Frutti, right? Your kids, many of you have called it Little Darlings. Again, ringing a bell with people of my age and older who will remember all of those things. And again, just seeing those, and I wrote them down immediately when I saw them because it did ring a bell with me. It did strike a chord. So
yeah, and it's funny because when we have indoor dining again, which is coming soon, it's interesting to listen to people sitting at tables and multi-generations talking about some of the things in the diner, because people come in and their kids, there's a picture on the wall of Marilyn Monroe, and so many kids have said, is that pink? It's not pink. Or by the door we have a fake telephone, because back in the day when you left the restaurant or the diner, you put your dime in the phone box and you called for your ride. But kids have never seen that before. So it's interesting, that I hear many, many conversations. People, we've got a Bing Crosby. Who's that? We've got a Hanks, Hank Aaron. Who's that? They don't know who that is. So it causes people to have conversations, and it's wonderful to see grandparents talking to little kids, and saying, well, they're looking at the jukebox. Well, that's a giant, MP3 player, So it brings up conversation between the generations. It's wonderful to, for the kids to see, these are the things that we lived with. These are the kinds of things that we had back in the day.
Kind of reminds me of I'm one of the most senior person working where I work at this time, and they've very passionately be Grampy, which that's fine as long as it's respectful. I find myself too getting in those conversations, some of the, and it's great educating the kids on how it used to be,
Yeah. The good old days.
They think they've got it tough now, right? So yeah, again, as you said, it's a great education. It's a great family experience, as you said. But the parents, the grandparents coming in and telling them all about these things. So then they can go home and Google it for themselves. And
yeah.
we got the privilege of doing when we were kids, right? So okay, now this is such a fantastic idea, and again, another big. Your place put such big smiles on my face over this past week. It's been fantastic. You have started the Carhop. You have rejuvenated it. You have brought back the Carhop, and you provided us with a 1-minute video clip. And Mark Perry is gonna play that now. But let's talk about the Carhop. People that may not know, have no idea what a Carhop was.
Yes, I would imagine. I can't remember. I mean, I as a teenager, I remember going to the A&W, and they had Carhops, but I can't recall seeing it anywhere since then. And I'm, long on the tooth, so that was a long time ago. But we were looking for creative ideas to still be able to give our customers great service and be able to, let them, have our food during the pandemic. And so we thought, what is a great way for us to be able to increase our reach of allowing, more customers? And so we decided, we're the 50s, let's have a Carhop. So for those who don't know what a Carhop is, really picture Happy Days and Mel's Diner and people pulling up in their hot rods. Now, traditionally, it was a girl on roller skates who came out to your car to serve you. My insurance company is less than thrilled with that idea, so they will not be on roller skates. But how the Carhop system works is we have designated spots. You bring your hot rod in, or your minivan, whatever you're driving. You back into a Carhop spot, and our little girl's going to come out and take your order. Once your food is ready, she's going to bring it out on a tray and hang it off your window, like they did in the 50s. We have music playing outside. You can hear the 50s music. Where the parking spots are, you can see the activity on the patio. So it really has made for a kind of a regular everyday party event here at Elsies Diner. It's pretty cool. People are getting, in their cars and coming from long distance just to sample something from the past.
And another fantastic idea, because it is retro, it fits perfectly in it. But there's going to be people like on hotter days, for example, like me, who maybe don't want to sit, out in that 80 plus degree weather. But now they have the option of sitting in their air conditioned automobile, right, with
You
the
bet.
window. Still, you're going to get that cool air and you're going to be able to enjoy your meal. So, just another great idea. Fantastic. Now, the question I had, I was in the video clip, I was watching the trays very closely. Now, how did you do this in order to get them to clip onto the windows like they did? So if people want to wear car hops, they would actually clip onto the window of the car. You'd leave your window open maybe about that much and or closed, sorry, that much.
Yep. Yeah.
Up on there. Do you have to create a whole new tray, or are those just clips that were added to the existing trays?
No, we spent weeks and weeks trying to find somebody who had the trays. I did a lot of research online. I did find a company down in the States. They were an old-fashioned motel, and they were celebrating an anniversary, and they had done it just for a couple of weeks as a promotion to celebrate their anniversary. So we talked to them. I talked to a number of people in the States who thought they might have a lead on somebody that made them. Of course, the pandemic brought a little extra issues into it. Companies that maybe might have made them for us, were not in production because of COVID. Finally, I found a lady. She is out of, I believe, Niagara Falls, and a friend of mine, actually one of the friend that has the car in the video, he had a business card of her, and she made them just as a retro fun thing. She made them with fake food for people who wanted to take their car to a car show and just show it off. So he was able to put me in touch with her, and they made them for us. So they were specifically made for us. They do have clips on the tray, which have plastic coating on them, so they won't harm your window, they won't scratch your window. And so yes, when you come in, you roll your window up a little bit so that we've got a few inches, and the hooks just hook right on to your car window, and there it sits nice and secure with your shake and your burger and your basket of fries.
That's fantastic. I just talking about it. I want to try it. I want to come and try it. So, excuse me. Now, when we talked this morning, you mentioned that the video has gotten a ton of attention, 20,000 views, and had at least 50 emails from people asking, "Where are you?"
Yes, it like just overwhelmed by the response to the video. And I think it's because people are looking, like, summer's coming up. What are we going to do for summer? Clearly, the borders are not going to the States, anytime soon. And so maybe people are looking for something to do, something a little different, go for a drive, try out something new. So yeah, it's been shared like crazy on the internet, and we have gotten tons and tons and tons of people asking where we are. People wanting to just come up for the day, just come for the car hop. And it's fortunate for us. We live in such a beautiful tourist area. There's so much to do in Grey and Bruce. It's nice to just be, another thing on their, road to discovering, what a great area we live in, because there's so much to see and do in our area. And specifically our location, it's a perfect location. We're right on the road to Sauble Beach and Wyerton and Tobermory and the Bruce Peninsula and all things great north of us. So we do get, a lot of traffic by our door. A lot of cottagers live up on the Bruce. So we're certainly hoping that, they'll stop by, give it a shot, try it out. It is, it's kind of a unique thing. It's likely something that once the pandemic is over and we're back to regular service, probably won't, it's probably for just this summer. There are still some folks who are nervous about, sitting with other people and eating. Potentially people have some health issues or haven't got their vaccines yet. So it's a great alternative to, you can come out and eat, you can see all the action, but you're still sitting in the safety of your car. Our servers coming out with the masks, so they're protected. The trays are sanitized completely between each service. So it's safe, for everybody. But yeah, it's, we're excited. People saying, people from Hamilton have emailed, from Toronto, all sorts of places saying, where are you? We want to come, check this out. It seems like such a neat thing. And, we're really excited about that.
Yeah, that's one thing I found since I started the Mom and Pop Eateries page on Facebook is the number of people that are contacting me, and they use the page. It breaks down the demographic for you as to where people are from, and most of my likes are from the Owen Sound, Meaford area. But there are people from Toronto, Hamilton, Ottawa, some people Germany, Iceland, places like that. But they see a place, they have no problem driving a couple of hours. They just love food, and they love to try something new. So, it's incredible the amount of miles that people will put on. As you said, there's more free time this summer, unfortunately, with COVID. But as I said, Kris, and I'm not, I'm so impressed with what you've done with that property. It's just absolutely amazing. People have to try it. Yeah.
Well, I hope they do. And, it's a fun place to come. It's not just a meal. It's definitely an experience. We have amazing staff. I am, absolutely blessed with the amazing people that I have, working here with me. My head chef, her name is Darcy Cruin. She's phenomenal. She's just a lovely person. And she runs my kitchen, and she is amazing. The girls I have out front, just wonderful, warm, welcoming people who, love what they do and love giving good customer service. I have some amazing students who come back year after year. It's a fun place to be. So, not only do we have great food, but, come and have an experience, come and enjoy the 50s.
And that's so important in this industry, and to have, where it's a pleasure to come to work every day because you're working with such fantastic people. All right, so we've got about 30 seconds left here. I want to thank the owner of Elsies Diner, located on Highway 6, in Springmount, just west of Owen Sound. And if you haven't been out there, folks, do yourselves a favor. Make sure you get out and visit Kris and her staff and all the wonderful things they've got going on out there. You can check them out on Facebook. They're on Instagram. They've got a webpage as well, Elsies Diner. So that's going to do it for this week's episode of Mom and Pop Eateries with Grey Bruce. For producer Mark Perry, I'm Rob Leonard. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, little Carhop. Hey, little Carhop. Pretty little Carhop. Hey, little Carhop. Hey, little Carhop, come and get my order now. Chicken in the basket. Pizza and pastrami. Tacos and coffee. Woo! Hot tamale. Hey.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Attention shoppers! You admit to what you did. No! All these people died.
Jesus, Kyle?